understanding more regarding investments. And to discuss this, I have, that is the Director, Investment Promotion and Business Development at the Uganda Investment Authority, Martin Mohangi. You're most welcome to our studios, and I'm very excited. You know, when we talk about investment, anything to do with investment excites me.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, viewers, and greetings from Uganda Investment Authority.
Well, let's first understand, when you talk about Uganda Investment Authority, what is your mandate? What do you do? What should we expect from you, even before going into the summit?
Thank you very much, Robert. The core role of Uganda Investment Authority is to promote and license investments. Local investments, domestic investments, and then foreign investments.
Okay.
We also have the mandate of developing and managing the industrial parks. And then we also have the role of advising government on the best conducive policies for investment. Those are the core functions of UIA.
Now, this brings me also to ask Martin, why is the relationship between Gezi Investment Summit and Uganda Investment Authority? How do you come into the picture here?
Oh, thank you very much. Gezi Investment Summit, Gezi is a region in the southwestern part of Uganda, and we have the mandate to promote regional development by promoting investments in those regional development. The National Development Plan 3 specifies key areas or programs through which UIA works to promote the investments. The key one is being agriculture and agricultural value addition, mineral beneficiation. ICT is a very key sector that we are promoting. Infrastructure, and when we talk about infrastructure, we are talking about education, vocational institutions that skills our Ugandans for jobs. Then we are talking about health sector, that is under infrastructure. We are talking about roads that support the transportation supply chains for goods and services that are produced by the manufacturing entities. We also have tourism as a major priority program that we promote, and oil and gas. So those are the key sectors that are specified under the National Development Plan 3, which is properly aligned to the strategic plan of UIA. So Gezi is very central for us because it connects to two major countries, Rwanda and DRC, and there is a huge potential for market around those countries.
Well, Gezi is a bit wide. Now, one would want to know when is this summit, where is this summit going to be held, so that we bring the interest, the intentions, and a feel either it is urgent to get into or whatever someone needs to know about this very summit.
Thank you very much. The summit is going to take place in Chibaya, Rukundo Town Council, Kisoro District. Why Rukundo Town Council? That's where we got land. UIA has been working with the local government to mobilize land for investment. We are in partnership with the local government. And Kisoro District gave us almost 1 square mile, about 630 acres in Rukundo Town Council. And the purpose of this summit is to showcase the investment opportunities for Gezi region, but at the same time, launch the industrial park.
Oh, so you're killing two birds with one stone.
Precisely.
Okay, so this also brings me to understand who are the participants in this summit, because it's about investment opportunities in this particular region. But who are the people that we expect to see, and how is it going to be conducted? Is it going to be a summit, a meeting? Are we going to have exhibitions? So throw more light.
Thank you very much. The main participants in this event or summit are the business community, whom we want to showcase the investment opportunities that are available in Gezi, and even take up the space in the proposed industrial park, which we are going to launch, and there will be a groundbreaking. And that will be the chief guest of honor is the Minister of Finance, Honorable Matia Kasaija. The other participants are the government entities that support investors with permits, infrastructure needs to be able to create value addition. Who are they? Such entities are the financial institutions. We have UDB, which is a development financial institution. It's going to be there. We have other commercial banks like Post Bank. We have Centenary Bank. We have Stanbic Bank. We have DFCU Bank. All the commercial Post Bank. All these commercial banks have been invited to present on access to financing, affordable financing and quick financing, because investments go hand in hand with financing. That's one segment. The other segment of government is the MDAs, what I call ministries and departments that license investors. Who are they? Uganda National Bureau of Standards, Electricity Regulatory Authority, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, Electricity Generation Company, UMEME, National Water. All these are entities that are resident at Uganda Investment Authority at the one-stop center. But we have called all the government entities. Minister of Trade is represented, Minister of Agriculture will be represented, Minister of Energy, Minerals will be represented, and we are going to show all the opportunities across all the broad sector ministries. And we shall be able to support the investors who want to be licensed and take up the land.
Well, what an opportunity for the people of Gezi. But also, I believe even if you're not in Gezi, you go and see those investment opportunities, because we see foreigners come from overseas, then they come and invest in Uganda and make good money. So what about a Ugandan coming from another part and invest in Gezi? But also this kind of triggers my mind to ask you, Martin, what are some of the investment opportunities in Gezi?
Thank you very much for that question. The investment opportunities in Gezi are in agriculture and agro-value addition. Agriculture is the mainstay of our economy, and Gezi supports agriculture through very good fertile soils and a lot of water streams, lakes, and rivers. The soils are volcanic soils. So in terms of agriculture, the potential is very huge in Gezi region. What are the specific opportunities here I'm speaking about? Crops, cash crops, coffee, tea, very prominent. Food crops, Irish, grains, like groundnut, beans, very productive in that area. And what we are looking at is both commercial farming, optimization of land per acre, but at the same time, we are creating value addition through the industrial park, so that we take the commercial products and process them, create high shelf life, and be able to tap into a wider market of Rwanda and the DRC. That is the first segment. The second opportunity is the minerals. We have, through studies, established that in Gezi we have over 500 million metric tons of iron ore. High quality. What we are looking for now is to bring investors into Gezi at an international level to partner with our local domestic investors and create a joint venture partnership for purposes of creating value in the minerals. We have iron ore. Studies have proved that it's okay. We have tin. We have gold. We have traces of cobalt. So all that, we need to exploit it, to exploit that potential. Beyond that potential, the region is very famous for tourism. We have 3 places in the world that have gorillas. Gorilla trekking is famous in that area. We have Mahabura mountains, snow-capped mountains, green scenery. We have forests, windy, impenetrable. Ancient tribes, birds, variety of birds. We need to tap into that. Actually, it is that area that gives us a lot of tourist revenues. And we shall have the CEO of UTB to come and present about the opportunities, specific opportunities. But to go into that landscape of tourism, the greatest opportunity is the accommodation, hotel accommodation. And as I speak, I think we have filled up Chisoro. So there is a huge potential to create more rooms.
Very interesting when it comes to investment opportunities in this particular part of the country. Uganda gifted by nature, but what have we done with this gift that we have? Most of the times I see when foreigners come in this country and you ask yourself, but where are we, the local people? But of course, with those investment tips, I'm very sure this summit is something that you can't afford to miss.
Robert, allow me to emphasize this. The locals have a greater support of government. What kind of support do we provide to locals? And that's exactly what we want to disseminate and promote. We have an enriched incentive regime, tax incentive regime for locals. We have tax holidays for agriculture for 10 years. For investors investing in upcountry. That's why our emphasis is regional development. In May, we are in West Nile. We launched the industrial park in West Nile, Nebi district. Locals must take up the incentives of 10 years in commercial farming and agro-value addition.
But we've always had these excuses that some of these incentives are hard to get, some of them are directives, others they don't know even how to get them, even if they qualify for them. For locals more particularly. Yeah,
let me make a very clear clarification on that. The incentives we are mainstreamed into the tax code. What do I mean? In simple terms, we put the incentives in the tax law. They are self-policing. You do not require any permission. It's an entitlement through the tax code. Self-policing is a word I can use. In other words, any domestic investor can access the incentives without writing to UIA, without writing to URA. Actually, it is Uganda Revenue Authority that administers the incentives through the tax code. You do not need a permission from the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority to access the incentives. So they are available, they are there.
Well, that well confirmed. Now, this brings me also back to the summit for a person to understand. Yes, you've talked about the opportunities, the participants, but what are the main objectives of this summit?
Thank you very much again for that question. There are three main objectives for this summit. Objective number one is to showcase the investment opportunities that we have in Gezi region. I have mentioned them. We shall have an opportunity to allow the domestic investors in the greater Gezi region, that is Kisoro, Kabare, Rukunjiri, Kanungu, to showcase their products. We shall, as UIA and other government agencies together, be able to present the investment opportunities and show exactly the profitability. UIA has been packaging. We've been doing studies on market analysis. We've done studies on demand and supply, with return on investment, payback. If you invest $1, how long will it take me to recover?
That research Uganda Investment Authority has done.
Absolutely. And that is, we shall have these what we call bankable opportunities for the locals. It's plug and play. So you have the market well analyzed, you have the financials well analyzed, you have where to get the technical manpower to support your investment. So what we have actually done is to push into the socket, and then you play the music.
Well, listening to you, I'm triggered to be part of this summit, because many times Ugandans, we just don't know where opportunity is. That's why you find that people spend a lot of money thinking it can do nothing. Person will tell you, but what can... So I was discussing with a friend who told me, I resorted to putting this man on my house. I told him, because I looked around this, what business could I do with 5 million? I was just going to spend it, so I decided to renovate my house. Yet when you go such a summit, where even analytical expert information has been provided for you, come and invest, this is what you need to do, this is what you're going to get. Who would miss such a summit, to be honest? But that brings me also to another interesting bit of it.
Just 1 minute, Robert. I must say, I had said 3 objectives. So that was the first objective. The second, and then you come to your question. The second one is to create joint venture partnerships. We have invited delegates from DRC.
Okay.
They are joining us. The investment agency, an equivalent of UAE in DRC. They are joining us, plus some business communities. What is the purpose of this engagement? To deepen market access to DRC. We have invited our counterparts in Rwanda and Burundi. So that is the second objective, to ensure we create joint venture discussions through matchmaking between Ugandan investors and those investors from the region to deepen market access. The third and the last one objective is to launch and do the groundbreaking for industrial park. Actually, immediately after groundbreaking, our objective is to ensure that domestic investors take up land. That land is land for our investors.
Very, very interesting, and I'm very sure many Ugandans are now excited to take up land in this industrial park. We've had a number of industrial parks, and one of the things I always crave for is to see that most of these spaces are taken up by domestic investors. It hurts a person coming and taking advantage of what we have, yet as the locals we are fed. But well, allow me to go for a short break. When I return, I and my guest will be discussing more regarding the Gezi Investment Summit, and of course to help you better understand how you do not miss this opportunity, because I want to believe it is going to increase or improve on your earnings, on your investment, and more so the vast knowledge that is going to be in this summit. When I hear of almost everything done for you, you just have to say, here are my monies, the technical people concerned are there, all the information it is will be available for you. Let's return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Effects of climate change are glaring. We have floods, landslides, drought, food insecurity. His Excellency the President has been very passionate about this, and he has explained the effect of destroying our natural resources, especially the wetlands, and cutting the forests. As Cabinet, as government, we have approved a 10 years restoration program. We are going to provide alternative sources of livelihood, and the call is that people should leave the wetlands. And we have started from today evicting people from Lubigi wetlands, and we are going to roll out of the whole country. Our prayer is that those who have not yet been reached, please live peacefully. We are going to provide alternative source of livelihood as a government. Those who are still engaged in manufacturing and selling the plastic, especially the illegal non-buveras, we are going to close onto them. They are also a menace to our country. We look forward very soon having sodas back in the breakable bottles rather than the plastics which are being thrown all over to litter. I want to call upon Ugandans, let's conserve and let's use sustainably our natural resources. I thank you.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Uganda National Meteorological Authority, with support from Government of Uganda, Green Climate Fund, and the United Nations Development Programme.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed, and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Fellow Ugandans, did you know that we are losing wetlands at an alarming rate? Wetlands are the most threatened ecosystems, disappearing 3 times faster than the forests. Dear ones, we risk losing species to extinction and a lot of wetlands at maintaining our environment. Let us all be concerned, conserve, and restore our wetlands. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Uganda National Meteorological Authority, in partnership with the Interreligious Council, with support from Government of Uganda, Green Climate Fund, and the United Nations Development Programme.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that short break, and thank you for being with us. It is still Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono with my guest that is from the Uganda Investment Authority, who happens to be the director that is business promotion and of course investment. And now we are discussing Gezi Investment Summit, which is aimed at promoting investment in this region. Now, when we talk about investment, there must be challenges. And definitely we want to know what are some of these challenges and how does government intend to help these investors?
Yeah, thank you very much again for that question. The key challenges that investors face countrywide in Uganda, but more specifically now in the Gezi region, is lack of information. And that's why we are taking there what we call the bankable investment profiles to show exactly the opportunities, return on investment. That is a major one. And we are going there as government, not even as UIA. We shall have all government entities in the region to showcase the products that are available. The second challenge is access to markets. And that's why we are working with regional countries, partners in the East African member states, to come and attend and give the opportunity to also demonstrate the potential and the ability to purchase the products that are going to be manufactured from our industrial parks. So we shall be deepening the market. So the challenge is market, because investors sometimes express concern that yes, we have produced, you have supported us, you have given us enabling infrastructure, you've eased the business processes through one-stop center, where you can get an investment license in 1 hour. Currently, we have dropped from 48 hours. You just apply and we give you the investment license. The next question, where do we market our products? That's why we are bringing the regional countries to participate and show the potential of demand. That is the other challenge of market. The third challenge is access to infrastructure. You cannot have an investment without power or reliable power. That's why we are taking one, Umeme the distributor, but alongside with the regulator, Electricity Regulatory Authority, we want the generation to be able to speak directly to investors that actually we have the capacity to generate and sustain your energy demands. That's why we have them there. Transmission, there are issues to do with access, but can I have that power reach my producing entity? We want transmission to explain that to the investors. But more important, at the beginning of this session, I explained about financing. Investments can't take off unless there is adequate financing. Debt. Not everyone has equity in his pocket. You and me, we need to be supported by debt. So we are taking the Development Financial Institution of Government of Uganda, which is Uganda Development Bank, to be able to explain to the investors the packages, financing packages and solutions that they have for our investors, together with other commercial entities. More important, Bank of Uganda is present to talk about the agricultural loan facility.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Important one.
I love to hear that. Yes. You know, one time, do you remember the days of the credit crunch? Yes, Uganda wasn't hit that very much, but loans went high. Now I was at this summit of farmers, and one farmer said, when I got a loan, I knew I had this amount of birds, and they were giving me this amount of trays. Now for you, when you increase this interest loan, and tell me I was supposed to get an agricultural loan, do you expect my hens to lay twice? Instead of, so it was a tricky question, but he had a point.
Correct.
And then the experts told him, you went for a wrong loan. You're supposed to go for an agricultural loan that would factor in these issues. You went for a commercial loan. So now we don't know if each of your hens in your poultry farm has to lay thrice or twice a day, but there were some loans tailor-made for you. And I think that is one of the changes that people in the agricultural sector are facing. They go for very different loans that do not suit agriculture. But if that is going to be there, then I'm very interested when it comes to understanding how best, because I happen to be also very passionate about farming. If these agricultural loans can be there, then I think it's some knowledge that our viewers really need to understand.
And Robert, supplementing that point, what the program, the way we have structured our program, we have made it more practical by including the top business community in the Gezi region to come and tell us their journey.
Oh, yes.
To tell us the testimonies, their success story, the challenges they have faced during that journey, so that we are able to address specifically, or even motivate you and me who will be there to take up the opportunities. So they have a session and they will tell us what they have done and what we can learn from them.
Now, all that said, I move to look at what are the anticipated outcomes of this Gezi summit. What are we looking at? What are we intending to have after this summit?
After discussing the investment opportunities, we should be able to license the projects that we have promoted. The whole idea is plug and play. UIA will have a one-stop center to be able to license investors. And second, we are going to launch and do the groundbreaking of the industrial park. Land will be available. Those who are licensed, we shall give them forms to apply for land in the industrial park. That land is for investors. So the outcome, the anticipated outcome, is to ensure that investors take up land in the industrial park. That is the second one. The third one is we must live when we have created networks for market for Ugandan products. That's why we have DRC team coming, Rwanda, Burundi. We want to ensure we create a database and we know for sure if you are in grain supply, here is your market. We want to have it very clear. So those are very clear objectives. Joint venture partnerships, aiming at market and financing, deepening that market and establishing exactly that the market for grains, when we have put in an industrial park, you have it. No shortcut about it. The second is to take up land. You can only take up land, access land in industrial park if you are a licensed investor through Uganda Investment Authority. Third is to ensure that all the challenges, operational challenges and policy challenges are addressed. I know policy challenges may go at another level where they are discussed at the ministry level and then taken as a policy. That is, we shall document that. But operational challenges, the ones I've talked about, I lack information. I don't know where to access incentive. Where do I get a permit? How do I get financing? Where is electricity? What is the status of roads? Government entities will solve them by explaining what programs we have to address all those, what solutions we have for all those challenges. Operational challenges must be dealt with at the investment summit. Policy challenges will be taken at a policy level, and then we shall come back to tell you that actually we have addressed it. Since UIA is mandated to drive competitive policies for investment and conducive policies for investment, we shall come back and tell you that we have done that.
Well, before I let you go, let me have your parting shots, but of course with a reminder of when, where and how people can participate in this Gezi Investment Summit, and of course a message to potential investors and other stakeholders.
First of all, I want to thank the viewers and yourself, Robert, for giving us this opportunity to come and air out or bring out information on the Gezi Investment Summit. But specifically, the message I have for viewers and everybody that is viewing and listening is that, number one, we call all of you to be in Gezi. The Gezi Investment Summit is open for everybody in the Gezi region and even Kampala and other districts. You are welcome. You are Ugandans. You can take up the investment opportunity anywhere within the country. That's number one. So the opportunities will be there. We shall discuss and license you. So we welcome you to Gezi region, and specifically it will be in Chebaya, Rukundo Town Council, on 24th September, starting at 7 a.m., and that is Saturday. Saturday, for emphasis, 24th September 2022, this weekend. We shall all be in Chebaya, Rukundo Town Council, so you are most welcome. The second message that I have for you, you will also have an opportunity to interact with regional investors to deepen market access. It doesn't matter whether it is for Gezi region. Anyone who is an investor, it will give you an opportunity to be able to discuss the how to access the market in DRC, Rwanda, and Burundi. So that's a great opportunity. We welcome you to participate.
Well, I want to thank you so much. That is Martin Mohanju, who happens to be the Director, Investment Promotion and Business Development, Uganda Investment Authority. Thank you so much for that information. Well, this is something you can't afford to miss. Investment opportunities, but also well planned. And if you're registered with the Uganda Investment Authority, there's an opportunity for you to get land in the industrial park. Let's support Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, but we also have to at least put a block on the development of Uganda. There is so much opportunity. Let's go and tap into that opportunity. Have a lovely day. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Live from UBC's